Okay, something else I wanted to talk about, and something that I believe, or actually I know, is one of the reasons I've been able to scale one super quickly and two charge my clients. I think my largest payout so far has been like a $36,000 payout per month, because of all the work I do for them. Um, but okay, so reasons I can scale, reasons I can charge people that much money per month from one client is because I have figured out how I can become more valuable. And it's this thing that people like to call like skill stacking. All right, so yes, my main skill, the first skill I learned was copywriting. Okay, two, um, you just need to figure out like once you get a client, part of it's like mindset. Once you get one client and you're doing, let's say you're doing email for them, it is much easier to upsell them and do more for that client than it probably is to just go get another client, okay? And this goes back to the other thing I wanted to talk about is skill stacking and how you make yourself more valuable, okay? So you need to make yourself more valuable to be charging numbers like $33,000 a month or $36,000 a month or whatever, okay? So I just wanted to go over this really quickly. So again, main skill I learned was copywriting. Then what did I learn how to do? Okay, I learned how to build funnels, run ads, sales manage, do all the automations. Okay, and yes, this mostly applies to info, but this honestly can apply to e-commerce as well. Okay, so instead of building out an entire funnel, maybe your website copy, new opt-in, whatever, etc. Okay, so how to become more valuable. You want to stack your skills. And two, as far as deal structures for me, what that looks like. So if it's something retainer, let's talk about retainers, okay? That's probably like I'm doing email for them, or I'm scripting 30 short form scripts for TikTok for them. Or maybe I'm writing or scripting, whatever, making ads for them, and doing the media buying. Or maybe I'm just doing one of them. I'm let's just okay, those are things that would probably be on retainer, right? But if you're already doing email for them, are they probably needing TikTok content or LinkedIn content or stuff top of funnel? Absolutely. Like they probably want more eyeballs. Maybe they want a way to get a ton of leads. Maybe they want something to collect emails and phone numbers and names. So maybe you make them a free lead magnet, all right? Or maybe you make them a free lead magnet plus opt-in, and that's like a funnel, okay? So deal structures, retainer. So this is anywhere from, 3K a month or whatever you charge, but that's it. That's what you're getting on a recurring thing. There's also what I like and what I do with every single client now is I have them on retainer plus rev share, okay? So what does that mean? I basically get paid for paid monthly for X service, but then any money I make them through email or if it's a funnel or and it'll depend on the agreement a little bit, like, but I'm getting a percentage oh, percent of the rev I make them or that they're doing. So for example, maybe you want to do email for them. Let's say it's 3K, but let's say, what if you start getting 10% of the revenue generated from email and only from email? Because you probably won't get just any revenue in general, but if you're doing email specifically, get on rev share with them. So you say even 5, 10, 15, 20%. I'd say anywhere from 10 to 20% is good rev share, depending on that retainer, obviously. So maybe they don't want us to give you $3,000 a month, but maybe they say, okay, let's do $1,500 a month plus 15%. That's huge. And if you think you can make them $1,500, depending on the products, obviously, some easier than others, but like a lot of the times rev share will outpay you and it keeps you motivated, okay? So rev share keeps you motivated. It keeps you incentivized to do really good work, because the more money they make from whatever, the more money you are going to make, okay? And so I just think that's a really good relationship and in business. So rev share. Those are obviously like the pros. And that's typically my deal structures. Another deal structure I like to do. Actually, before I go into that, let me just talk more about like how to become more valuable and positioning and different offers, like different ways you can kind of upsell people, okay? So for info or for e-com, whatever, you can also offer that to build their funnels. What goes into that, all right? So this is just an example because I want to make you guys aware of how I kind of work with clients. Build their funnels. So that includes all the copy, the design, the funnel itself. So it's probably some sort of like opt-in or a landing page or some sort of, let's say, landing page. Then maybe it takes them to a sales page, and then they get a thank you page. Okay. And obviously, like, that's a really basic funnel. Some funnels will be more complex, and they'll have order bumps, or they'll have one-time offers, or they'll have, for a high-ticket thing, it will be like a VSL, so a video sales letter, and then it'll be an application, and then the application, on if they qualify or not, then they get to book a call, or they get sent to a downsell or sent somewhere else. And a high-ticket is like anywhere from like $3,000 or more. That's for coaching specifically. But generally, yeah, $3,000 for like high ticket. But anyway, so build their funnels. What else goes into that? Okay, you have to automate things. All right, you have to make the automation. So when someone buys, they get an email, or when somebody opts in, or whatever funnel it is. If somebody opts in, they get the lead magnet, or they get an email, or they get whatever. And then maybe there's all sorts of different automations you can do for people or for funnels, but that includes the automations. So that's just an example. So like if I were to build somebody a funnel, it would probably be, okay, and this brings me to my other point. It's some sort of, I'm going to get a one-time setup fee. So, and that the price will vary, and I always say plus rev share as well. Okay. And I will say, if my clients want, if I propose, my base is usually whatever the setup fee is plus 10 to 15%. If they're a homie, which honestly, my clients are pretty good friends of mine now, and I didn't want to like overcharge them, so I just usually did 10%, but some of them I did 20% if they really wanted that one-time setup fee to be pretty low. And so that's something you just have to play with, okay? But that'll be usually a one-time setup fee plus rev share. It's like for a funnel or entire email setup, or something where a lot of the work is going to be up front, and then after that, it's just like kind of maintenance. Like all I have to do after that is send emails on retainer, or all I have to do is run ads, or all I have to do is whatever. So those are kind of the 3 different deal structures I like to do. Or actually, these are just kind of the 3 ones that I'm aware of the most, but the ones I do are typically a one-time setup fee plus rev share for X amount of days, not for like the rest of time. That'd be great if so. Retainer plus rev share, okay? So that's kind of how I think, or I know I have been able to scale. And honestly, like, it has been mostly me doing all of the work. I've hired for very small, or for some projects that are like one-offs that I don't get them on retainer for after or whatever, I will outsource a little bit of the work, or have it back in like February, March, because I had like 3 one-off projects and I had people on retainer and I just had a lot going on. And so like, yes, I outsourced a little bit of the work, but like right now, for the most part, or actually right now, like I'm doing all of my clients' work, and I'm able to work with, anywhere from 4 to 7 clients at a time, and I basically do everything for them, and because of that, I get whatever our retainer agreement is plus rev share, or I get a one-time setup fee plus rev share. And it's just a really good way to work with your clients and like do a lot for them, but also have kind of like that long-term relationship and be able to get paid really, really well because you do really good work and you get them results. Obviously being on RevShare. I think what else did I want to talk about in this little thing? And then the other thing again is skill stacking. Like, yes, be really good at copy, be able to write emails, ads, website, scripts, but be like, diversify your skill set a little bit. Like, somebody that needs all this is probably going to need somebody to build their funnel or build their landing pages or do all the automations. All right, so just be more valuable. Or another little tangent, if you're doing emails for someone, let's say, okay, let's write you some scripts so you can get more organic traffic, or let's do whatever. Like, let's be posting on Twitter, let's be posting on LinkedIn, let's be posting on TikTok, let's be posting on Instagram, okay? So just be able to do more things for your clients, and that's how you become more valuable, and slowly but surely, you're going to be gaining these people's trust, all right? To let you do more things. So, skill stacking and deal structures. So RevShare. That is the main thing through and through that I know I've been able to do that has allowed me to be able to charge, a ton of money to my clients. But has it been well worth it? Yes, absolutely, because I am making them, hundreds of thousands of dollars, okay? So that is my advice on how to become more valuable and positioning and kind of like basically upselling your offers to your current clients. So yeah, I hope that's helpful. If you guys have any questions on that, let me know. I know I was kind of just rambling, but I just wanted to let you know, like, RevShare, do not overlook that. And it is really important to skill stack if you want to be able to charge your clients, 5 figures a month plus, okay? So that's my advice. Do with that what you will. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions on that. Another thing, just going off that, like, it also just makes sense for you guys to have a percent of somebody's business if you're doing everything in your power to make them more money, right? You're doing emails, you're building them funnels, you're doing ads, you're doing all the automations, okay? And I think it's like, I don't want to charge my clients, 10 grand for a funnel, and then I charge them five grand for a VSL and 5 grand for this other funnel, and 10 grand for another, like, 10 email flows or whatever. Like, I don't want to have to keep charging my clients all these one-time setup fees. I'd rather just get a piece of their business, and I'm going to go above and beyond and do everything I can and fix all these holes and gaps in their business to make them more money. Like, I just think it's like a really good way to set up a long-lasting relationship, okay? That's just the other little part I wanted to say there.